Ariel Henry, a neurologist by training, was named Prime Minister on July 5th by Jovenel Moïse. July 5th. So that's 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Ariel Henry was picked by Jovenel Moïse to carry on with the Prime Minister's duties. And then when Jovenel Moïse got assassinated, all of a sudden you got this Claude Joseph who just comes up out of nowhere. Claude Joseph, who had resigned. He resigned because he said that Ariel Henry was coming in, and then all of a sudden he got the power, and then Ariel Henry was put off to the side. Late on Sunday night, Henry released an audio statement addressing Haitian citizens, promising a new coalition government. My fellow Haitians in Haiti and in the diaspora, it is an honor for me to address you as Prime Minister. I'm calling for all of us to unite and to work together to stop the nation from descending into the abyss, Ariel Henry said. Today, it is our responsibility as leaders to work together to face our challenges. I know some people are scared and have questions about who is leading the country. We weren't ready for recent events, but I could assure you that in a very short period of time, I will unveil a new coalition government. This government will lead the country for a short period of time until we can hold better elections. Immediately after Moïse's death, Joseph vowed to lead the country into the presidential and legislative elections this fall. But on Saturday, the core group, a collection of foreign ambassadors and special representatives based in Haiti, which include the U.S., called for Ariel Henry to be the one in the lead. This is just obvious. It's constitutional. It's what Jovenel Moïse wanted. And it just, my God, it's almost like Claude Joseph went ahead and just, took the credit for the damn assassination. He's going to take the damn power. So if anything, this at least, take some heat off of Joseph, Claude Joseph, because I feel like the U.S. government is responsible for this. So at the very least, they could do, be constitutional. At the very least, you could do what Jovenel Moïse wanted. So Ariel Henry should form a new government and organize presidential elections as quickly as possible. The group said in a press statement published by the United Nations Integrated Office in Haiti, BINUH. According to Pierre, the elections minister, elections are likely to be held 120 days after Henry was sworn in as Prime Minister. Another 6 fucking months? Another 6 months for elections? Have the goddamn elections next fucking week. Next fucking week. Instant runoff voting. Get the goddamn U.S. troops in there. Have the elections. Get the fucking troops out. And then move the fuck on. 6 more months? They've been goddamn promising elections ever since the beginning of fucking time. Yeah, just wait for elections. Just wait for elections. A conference of activists and civil society groups also met over the weekend with the aim of releasing a plan to create a transitional government council that would lead the country. They argued that Haiti, which is arriving with gang violence and infrastructural issues, would not be capable of holding free and fair elections this fall. So let's just go back to the, my little list here. Why do I say the United States government is responsible for the assassination of Jovenel Moïse? Well, it's what America does. It's what America's been doing, over and over again. Let's see, they coup d'etat, the United States government coup d'etat Haiti in 1950. The U.S. government coup d'etat Haiti in 1958. The U.S. government coup d'etat Haiti in 1986. 1988, 1988, 2 times in that year, June and September. My God, 1988, what a crazy year that must have been. 2 coup d'etats? The U.S. government give a nice Christmas gift, huh? 2 coup d'etats for Haiti in 1988. 1989, coup d'etat. Compliment to the U.S. government. 1991, well, hell, Papa Bush didn't like that Aristide. He was democratically elected. Can't have a democratically elected president of Haiti. Papa Bush had to get rid of him in 1991, 2004. Baby Bush is going to get rid of him because Clinton had put Aristide back as the president in Haiti. So 8 American coup d'etats against Haiti in the last 71 years. This is what the U.S. government fucking does. This is what the government does. They said that they was the DEA. They went ahead and confirmed the hit. The DEA was contacted right afterwards. DEA does operations in Haiti. The U.S. government trained 7 of the 26 Colombian mercenaries arrested. The Pentagon confirmed this. The U.S. has been training Colombian mercenaries since the 1950s. Colombian mercenaries said that they were there to arrest Jovenel and then hand him over to the DEA. Well, that's the U.S.'s M.O. How did we coup d'etat Aristide and Baby Doc? Well, we just captured him and sent them away. With Baby Doc, we gave him a plane to go to France, and with Aristide, the U.S. government sent him into the Central African Republic. Because it's not, with a death, right, they're just an outpouring of support or whatever, but just arrest. Just to arrest, then you could go ahead and he's still alive or whatever, but then organize your government. People aren't all crazy. So that's what the United States' MO is. Try to, make sure your hand is invisible. Make sure that it looks like the U.S. government has nothing to do with it. Hire some Colombian mercenaries. And then there's 3 Haitian Americans. There are 3 Haitian Americans from Florida. James Salage, 35, Christian Sannon, who's ex-DEA, says the DEA today. Yeah, right. He was ex-DEA when what? When it all went, when the thing got all fucked up, when it all got food-barred beyond all recognition. And then that Christian Sannon is set to run CTU from South Florida, a Venezuelan security firm. Nobody in Florida is protecting Venezuela. That's an overthrow the Venezuelan government security firm. So Mr. Overthrow Venezuela government just got hired to overthrow. This is, my God, the pieces are just so fucking crystal clear to me. So James Salage, Christian Sannon, who they say is the mastermind, all from Southern Florida, Haitian Americans. Claude Joseph, he had resigned previously, and then he called for U.S. intervention immediately. Oh, how fucking perfect is that, huh? Went ahead, did a coup d'etat, says U.S. intervene. What is Minister leaving? What the fuck is this shit about? 10-year occupation is not enough. We need to occupy Haiti forever and ever. Why don't we adopt Haiti as the 51st nation? If they have a referendum, do you want to become an American state? I would love to have Haiti and Cuba and Puerto Rico and any one of these countries that willingly want to be a part of the United States of America. I would, come on, come all. Is that not what the goddamn Statue of Liberty says? Give me your tired and your huddled masses. Give me your poor and your tired and your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. So the FBI thinks that Claude Joseph is the mastermind behind the hit. Okay, that's interesting. The Haitian ambassador to the U.S. is calling for intervention. The FBI thinks Claude was. That's what Colombian papers are saying. So the United States government has been on the side of Claude Joseph, who's a U.S. asset, but not Ariel Henry, the truthful and rightful prime minister. Jovenel Moïse made Ariel Henry the prime minister, and he was assassinated because of it. So let's see what happens now that Ariel Henry is the prime minister. Are they going to force Ariel Henry? Is Ariel Henry the... So let's read a little bit more articles. That previous one was from CNN. Here's USA Today. Negotiations are still in course, Haiti Elections Minister Mathias Pierre said, adding that Joseph would go back to being Minister of Foreign Affairs. Joseph could not be immediately reached for comment, and Henry did not return a message for comment. Diplomats favor Ariel Henry over Claude Joseph. The change follows a statement Saturday from a key group of international diplomats that appeared to snub Claude Joseph as it called for the creation of a consensual and inclusive government. To this end, it strongly encourages the designated Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, to continue the mission entrusted to him to form such government. The statement from the core group said the core group is composed of ambassadors from Germany, Brazil, Canada, Spain, the U.S., France, European Union, and representatives from the United Nations and the Organization of American States. It was the Organization of American States that said that Jovenel Moïse should pick a brand new prime minister. As soon as he did it, got fucking shot. Now, some people are saying that this might not be good because the core group is behind it. This is the constitutional way. This is what Jovenel Moïse wants. When it comes to the will, it's not the first will. It's the very last will that you write. It's not the first, oh, I had a will 10 years ago, so no, I just wrote a will 2 days ago. That's the will we're going to go with. That's the will we're going to go with, and that means Ariel Henry is the rightful prime minister. The core group statement was issued hours after Moïse's wife, Martine, arrived in Haiti on Saturday aboard a private jet clad in black and wearing a bulletproof vest. She has not issued a statement or spoken publicly since her return to Haiti as the government prepares for the July 23rd funeral that will be held in the northern city of Cap-Haïtien. Other events to honor Moise are planned this week in the capital, Port-au-Prince, ahead of the funeral. Moise designated Henry as prime minister a day before he was killed, but he wasn't sworn in. The neurosurgeon was previously Minister of Social Affairs and Interior Minister. He's belonged to several political parties, including I-Night, which was founded by former President Rene Preval. So there you go. There you go. They designated him the prime minister, right, the day before he was killed. Claude Joseph had resigned, and then all of a sudden Mr. Resignation is the goddamn prime minister. I don't know who in Haiti was calling for Claude Joseph to be the damn president. He just said he was the president. Oh, there's a guy. He says he's the president. Should we go with him? Who cares? Let's just go along. We've had two major occupations of Haiti in 1915 and 1935. That's when the U.S. just stole all the gold from Haiti. Just stole all the gold from the banks and then give it to Wall Street. Now we have a 10-year-plus occupation of Haiti. MINUSTA, the United Nations, the U.S. 3 Haitian Americans arrested: Joseph Vincent, 55-year-old Joseph Vincent, 35-year-old James Lodges, and mastermind Christian Emmanuel Sanon. So 11 of the arrested Colombians turned themselves into the Taiwanese embassy, which is weird. Very, very weird. Jovenel still had 8 months on his 5-year presidential term. Nimuwo 134-1. Yo non-min president en non-election chaque 5 ans. Tan Savis president en commence 7 février. Après date élection non. Li finitu 7 février. Après date élection on, from the 1987 Constitution. So everybody that says that Jovenel Moise was a dictator and this and that, that's what you want a president to be effective. How the hell is a president supposed to be effective against all this violent bullshit? So in a way he was a dictator, but in another he was the democratically elected president. He was the constitutionally protected president. He was constitutionally the president. He still had 8 months left on his 5-year presidential term. What, the opposition said that his presidential term was over? The fucking opposition was making up a bunch of bullshit, and you believed them. You believed them, and now what? We're going to have goddamn Joseph Lambert, President Joseph fucking Lambert? Is that the fuck you guys are pushing for? Get Joseph Lambert in there? You don't have to elect the motherfucker, right? Because he couldn't win an election free and clear. You got to cheat. Anyway, there's an update about Haiti. You're going to get Ariel Henry, Haiti. This is good news for you, I think. This is who Jovenel Moise wanted. This is consistent with what Jovenel Moise wanted.